Hey there YouTube, Super Brain AK here, and it's a doggy. Hi doggy. Hi Bentley. Yeah. He's a tiny little guy. Miniature pincher chihuahua mix. I've had him for a while, but he's never started the camera before. He's a Bentley. So, anyway, I've been mucking about in my room and doing quite a few projects. I've... Oh, you tell him. I've been cleaning out the little junk pile that's been accumulating there in front of my drawers and dressers. And then I mounted a monitor to my shelf. It's a pole mounting thing. Flashlight. Something like that. I don't have it. It's a bit, the size difference isn't right, but I took some wire. I don't know if you could see over there. Focus. There you go. Took some wire, wrapped it around a few times, and used one of the plastic pieces that hold the shelf squish onto, I guess. And yeah, it works fairly well. It's kind of saggy, but I'll probably figure out something better. I don't know. You guys have any suggestions on what to do? How to have a very sturdy pole size difference, and I don't really want to take the shelves off again because that would be annoying. But yeah, so I've been, let's see, what else have I been doing? I finally took apart my Hunda, the 5-port 9-amp smart charge power hub. It's got 5 ports and it's got the little chips to make sure your device is using the most power or drawing the most current. And well, I took it apart. I'll have some pictures linked in the description. And it's not the greatest quality, but they chinsed out on the PCB, solder work, and I think that's it. And like the heat sinks, the devices are actually riveted to the pressed aluminum heat sinks, so it's kind of crap. But the Schottky diodes and whatever controller they're using is reasonably high quality. I haven't had much. Oh, the capacitors are pretty cool too. There are, what, 2 solid capacitors and then 3 electrolytics. The 2 solid capacitors are next to the inductor, big inductor with multiple turns, or multiple turns in parallel. Those 2 are there, and then it's got 3 the rest of the way. So yeah. So what's weird is the ground would come along through here and not have the current would have to basically jump through all the USB ports. So I didn't like that, so I added 2 ground wires, plus after fixing that one port that came loose, it wasn't really making contact at the PCB anymore, so had to fix that. So I made 2 jumps with a telephone wire, solid core copper telephone wire, and yeah. And then I made a little bit more of a modification while I was in there. Oh, and also I cleaned up the tons of solder flux that was everywhere. Yeah, that was bad. So looks a lot prettier, and after I did that, I added in 2 terminal jacks. First of which is connected directly to the barrel jack, so I can plug a power supply into it and tap off of it to something else, or I can tap off some other power supply without using the barrel jack as the input to this. So it works both ways. Oh, by the way, I guess I should mention the fuse on this one is 10 amps, which is kind of weird how it's a buck converter and its output is only 10 amps. Well, it actually says on the PCB what the year 2015 520 or something, and then the current, it's 10. So yeah, HDD10A is its model number. I don't know if you can see that. Focus, there you go. 10A, that's the model on the PCB. Yeah, and then the second barrel jack, as you've probably guessed already, goes directly to the 5-volt output with pretty thick copper wire. And then I also sliced out a piece in the plastic there and filled it with hot glue, which I did a bang up job on. See how shiny it is and just fills all the little crevices. So yeah, that's that. And so instead of using this silly contraption, which uses the cord that originally came with it to a barrel jack, then using this Dell thing to Dell car charger to USB, not USB, airplane output. Originally came from a laptop, and it just converts a DC 12 volts to airplane adapter. So yeah, that goes to the jack. So instead of using that, I'm going to be now using this guy. Focus. 19 volts, 3.16 amps. And I've tested this thing. What's it tested? That's the Toshiba. Here's the APD. What was it? Asian Power Devices. Awesome. So I used that, and what did I use to test it? Used my DPS 5005, yeah, to convert it down to 12 for all these little 5-watt xenon or halogen bulbs. And so I just cranked up the wattage, so that's the different currents. And it's measuring the, I just measured the voltage with the DPS thing, and then I measured it with my Radio Shack one. It's a little bit different, but resistance of wires and whatnot. But yeah, the power factor from my Wheat Energy power meter said 0.6 at highest load. I think it's what, 0.56 at 20 watts. But yeah, it's fairly efficient, 83% all the way to maximum load, and the voltage drop isn't much at all. Yeah, 0.033, and that's over first its thing and then over a barrel jack with questionable wires. So yeah, that's the update on the Hunda, and stay tuned for the next video. See you in a bit.